My name's Ellen Schaffhauser. I'm from the Kern River Valley, and I volunteer for Valley Watch Network. It's a volunteer organization, and what many of us are doing right now here in Bakersfield, only about 3 blocks down from here, is that we wait outside of the immigration office every day. Detainees are coming out of there, and they are helped by us in order to get home. And if they weren't helped by us, they would be basically looked at as homeless people. We've helped over 700. I know there's more actually, but I don't want to give a specific amount. And this is ever since January. So you need to know what's happening in this town, because you could have a homeless population that explodes here if it weren't for us. It would be great to get donations. Just remember, Valley Watch Network. Anybody who's listening, please think about that. But I'm also saying it because of that topic of Sanctuary City. These people come out of there because they've been abducted, because the system is illegal, because their abduction for 7 to anywhere longer than that, months, are in these detention centers. Then they're released because of habeas corpus. They were illegally detained, and that's our system. And that's what's being dumped into our city, and we're helping them to get home, all the way to Miami, New Jersey, New York, Idaho, many other places. So please keep that in mind. You'll hear from me again. Thank you.
The next speaker is Serenity Hansford.
I am here with my intention to join the community that is requesting for Bakersfield to be a sanctuary city. I've just recently started learning more about what a sanctuary city is. And I think that it is the least we can do for the community that is being affected by ICE. I think that it's incredible that we have the power to do it. And I think from what I've learned, it looks like the only reason why people would be against it is because it's going to cost the police money. If there's an immigrant and they break the law, what I've learned is that they're going to go to jail, and then the federal government would say, hey, keep him because we want him because he's illegal. And we get to say no. We get to say it's giving the city the ability to say no. What's the opposite of not being able to say no? It's just forced. And I might be stuttering and not know exactly about everything that I'm talking about, but what I do know is that my voice does matter. And I also want to encourage people who are watching or in the audience who came and maybe aren't going to talk, because I am nervous, but I know I have good points. And I know that the challenges that I face can be overcome. And I'm excited to be here. I am. There's some other stuff I was going to say, but I think that's it. I'm supporting sanctuary cities in Bakersfield. Thank you.
My name is Denise Gary Pandel, and I'm here to address my concerns with respect to the meeting last month on July 15th. I found it deeply disturbing that the council members refused to discuss the importance of your sacred obligation under the Constitution and federal law. Title 8, Section 1182, makes clear that everyone that enters the United States should enter this country lawfully, and yet you refer to unlawful entrances into our country as simply immigrants. There's a legal distinction that's according to the law, and the rule of law should be followed. If you are unable or unwilling to uphold the Constitution and the rule of law according to Title 8, I would recommend you remove yourself from office or be recalled. Moreover, it clearly states under the law that people entering the country should be properly vetted. Why is that? It's because we have had people involved in sex trafficking, human trafficking, drug cartels. We've had individuals that have been involved in criminal networks, and yet we had council members talk about ICE hunting down individuals and being inhumane when the Department of Homeland Security has actually provided anybody the opportunity to self-deport with $2,500 and free transportation. There's nothing inhumane about asking individuals who broke our law to depart from this country, go back to their country of origin, fill out the paperwork, do things properly, allow us to vet them, and have the $2,500 and free transportation to do so. Moreover, you failed to indicate that individuals like my family members and the
Ms.
millions
Kendall,
of others
your
that have
time is
come
up.
here
Can you
came
bring
here
your comments
legally.
to a close, please?
Yes. So I'd like to close by saying your obligation is the safety and security of this community more than anything else. That is your sacred obligation, and you are responsible
Thank
for
you.
upholding the law.
Thank you, Ms. Kendall.
My name's Ellen Schaffhauser. I'm from the Kern River Valley, and I'm a volunteer for Valley Watch Network, which is connected to Faith in the Valley. And I've spoken to you back at 3:30, but really I'm speaking to the audience right now, even though you'll be hearing some of the things repeated. Valley Watch Network, I and a few others of us, we stand over at the immigration office. We stand there all day, sometimes across the street so that we can get some shade. What are we standing there for? We're waiting for the immigrants that have been illegally detained for 7 months, maybe 10 months, maybe longer. And they come out and they're released. Why? Why are they released? Because they've been illegally detained. And when they come out with barely what they came in with, if they came in with something at all. I wish they would get some money so that they could go home, but most of them don't have any money to go home. Where do they live? Miami, New York, New Jersey, Idaho, and many other places, and particularly, of course, California too. They are legally here. For whatever reason, they were detained, and they were detained for many months illegally. They are legally here. So what we do is we help them get home. And how do we do that? We have a contribution that comes, it's a donation for being able to get these people home. We actually fly them home, we get them on the train as immediate as possible, or we give them a place to stay overnight, and then they are sent home. Isn't that wonderful for this city? In order to be able to get a place for them to be so that they're not homeless here. Thank you very much.
My name is Brandon. My family has lived in this country for over 200 years now, but that doesn't make me any less an immigrant than a family that just arrived this morning. Just like me, these families have the right to privacy, safety, and protection. No family should have to wake up in the morning in fear going to the grocery store, taking their kids to school in fear of being kidnapped or killed by armed government goons, which many of these families have actually fled their countries for. This is why I'm asking in good faith for y'all to support a motion to make Bakersfield a sanctuary city. As we know, Kern County is home to several ICE detention centers. ICE has on several occasions also arrested, kidnapped several American citizens, whether they are Native American, born citizens, and so on. I repeat myself, no person, legal or illegal, should have to fear waking up in the morning, going to work, going to school, taking their children to school, going to get food or anything, should not have to fear about being kidnapped or being killed. Thank you.
My name is Rod Geis. Tonight I'm submitting a resolution by Dr. Angelo Frazier to designate Bakersfield a rule of law city. Dr. Frazier couldn't be here tonight, so I'm submitting it for him. It's a response to recent proposals by the council to initiate a Truth Act forum and designate Bakersfield a sanctuary city. I oppose a Truth Act forum because ICE doesn't have access to local jails. The Bakersfield police have confirmed that there is no coordination with ICE, and it's generally just a waste of time and resources. I oppose sanctuary city policy. It's bad for the state, it's bad for the city for 3 reasons. First, it's fiscally irresponsible. The cost of living is increasing here. Sustaining a growing population of foreign nationals burdens our system and taxpayers and accelerates the increase in cost. American citizens are the victims here, not the foreign nationals. Secondly, it dishonors America's veterans who fought to provide American opportunity, as well as everyone who legally became citizens. Third, sanctuary city policy violates federal law and interferes with law enforcement. Foreign nationals understand that it is unlawful to be here. They are fully responsible for their actions. Enough is enough. I love Bakersfield and wish to remind the council that your duty is to represent the citizens, not foreign nationals. Please stop wasting time and resources on initiatives that produce no tangible benefit, such as a Truth Act forum, sanctuary city policy, grants to foundations that are not needed, street name changes that cost citizens millions, and spending more on bike lanes, which is on the agenda for later tonight, I think. It's becoming clear that the city council requires more oversight. I hereby pledge to start that tonight. Thank you so much.
My name is Sharice Zaleski. And my question for tonight is, who are we fighting for? Because it seems like the people who are living in Bakersfield are being forgotten. Our police department is already overburdened, understaffed, and under-resourced. Our officers make call after call while not being asked to do more with less. They deserve our support and the strain that is already on an overwhelmed system. If you look around our city, homelessness is no longer hidden. It is on our sidewalks, in our parks, throughout our neighborhoods. Human beings are suffering, businesses are struggling, and taxpayers are paying the price. Then, I suggest that we look to downtown Bakersfield. This should be the pride of our city, a thriving destination for families, restaurants, and small businesses. Instead, too many storefronts sit empty, too many businesses have closed, and too many people have void downtown because they no longer feel safe. And in the middle of this, we are discussing policies that could place even a greater demand on our police, our emergency services, our housing, and our taxpayers. I would imagine that everyone sitting in this room today have locked the front door of their house, or perhaps they even locked the doors to their car. Not because we lack compassion, but because you understand that boundaries need security. Government should operate with the same common sense. Your first responsibility is not to make a national political statement. Your first responsibility is to serve the people who elected you. Before we become a sanctuary city for anyone else, let us become a sanctuary for the people already living here. Support the police, restore our downtown, address the homelessness, bring jobs and investment back to Bakersfield. The citizens of Bakersfield deserve to know that they come first. Thank you.
My name is Marcia Chamberlain, and I live in Ward 5. However, I want to respectfully address all the members of the City Council who were hopefully voted into office by legal citizens. I'm adamantly opposed to Bakersfield becoming a sanctuary city. If we are flooded with illegals, where will they find employment? Where will they find housing? Who will pay for their food, housing, and health care? What does this say to the immigrant families who came here legally, integrated into our communities, and studied our Constitution and history so that they might become legal and valuable citizens of the United States? Can you guarantee that homelessness and crime will not increase? After all, they've already broken the laws of our country. Can you tell me at what point in our culture did the word illegal become irrelevant? There's a push to allow illegals to vote in our elections. There is an uproar if they are deported. Theft is allowed in our stores if it's under a certain dollar amount. I took part in a court case where an illegal stole a car, but the case was actually dismissed because the woman whose car was stolen had written down her license number and referred to the note when asked what her license was. I know several families who have already moved out of Kern County just to escape the madness that has taken over logic in the state of California. I pray that you will listen to reason and bring back meaning to the word illegal and vote no on Bakersfield becoming a sanctuary city. Thank you for listening.
Andy Hensel, HENSEL. Making Bakersfield a sanctuary city will be like a magnet leading to more undocumented foreign nationals to our city. It may even eventually lead to the kind of unlawful protests we see in other cities. Some of the things said by previous council members was not helpful at all. Regardless of how someone feels about any constitutional law, it is not up to the individuals to decide to ignore them. There is a procedure in America to change laws, and until then, it is illegal and dangerous to blatantly resist or impede law enforcement officers while performing their lawful duties. We need truth based on reality, and that truth was not spoken by anyone on the council. The U.S. is a great nation because of the rule of law, laws based on biblical principles to deliver justice and punish lawlessness. Is it perfect? No. It's just the best damn place on earth, as anyone who travels will be able to tell you. If we embrace lawlessness, it won't be anymore. Thank you.
I am Charles Shin. I would like to just say that the idea of saying Bakersfield or California or any place in the United States is a sanctuary for unlawfulness is a hat tip to say we're going to obey some laws, but some laws are okay to violate. And which one of you are able to say which law is going to be violated and for what reason? That in and of itself doesn't make sense. Let me say that Bakersfield sanctuary status is unlawful. It encourages never-ending downward spiral, as we've seen in many blue cities, of disorderly conduct, and creates a false hope for those who think they're being protected, that somehow federal violations of the law don't apply to them. I think we're misleading these people, and as leaders of a great city like Bakersfield, I think that's a bad commentary on saying Bakersfield as sanctuary. Let me just go over a couple federal laws that might be being violated. 8 U.S.C. 1324, which criminalizes bringing, transporting, harboring, or aiding unauthorized aliens in the United States with penalties ranging from fines to imprisonment. And that would include also the ability to spend a lifetime in prison for some violations, and also the death penalty could apply. And that would be for harboring and concealing, encouraging, or inducing as two of those penalties. There's also 8 U.S.C. 1325, which criminalizes improper entry into the United States and establishes fines, imprisonment, and civil penalties for violations of that. I would urge the council to consider seriously keeping Bakersfield a city of law and order. Thank you.
I'm Jim Coyle. Sanctuary City, what a bad idea for us. It's a bad idea for Bakersfield to join the lawless by not cooperating with federal agencies. It's a bad idea to force our local law enforcement to not cooperate with other law enforcement agencies. Government has no business interfering with effective law enforcement policy. It is a bad precedent for us. It's a bad idea to encourage people who do not respect the law to come into this community and share their versions of crime and high life. It's a bad idea to put our children at greater risk of drugs and violence while making it more difficult to solve a greater crime case load. It's a bad idea to force us to have more crowded ERs and to also fill our classrooms with additional students that we cannot handle. It's a bad situation that public health has the need to vaccinate large numbers of migrants subject to TB, polio, measles, chickenpox, and venereal disease, demonstrating the inherent risk to the extant population. It's a bad idea to hand out more selective freebies and to pile more tax load on already overfeed and overtaxed Californians. What if we could ask murder victims that have been victims, 32-year-old Catherine Steinley, murdered in San Francisco. 22-year-old Laken Riley, murdered in Athens, Georgia. And 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary, murdered in North Houston, all victims of known sanctuary protected criminals. It's a good idea not to do this. There is more than enough sanctuary in this state already.
Hello, my name is Don Miller. At the last City Council meeting, several community members spoke expressing fear of ICE agents and called for a truth forum. In the Truth Act, there is zero language that such a forum can be called, but rather would be required if BPD were to coordinate with ICE. There is zero language that can create ICE-free zones or control federal officers. It can only affect local law enforcement. The coordinated timing of this call for a sanctuary city with a scheduled county truth forum is no coincidence, but evidence of a radical Democrat Party at work here in our city, a party that is openly calling to defund, then abolish police departments and prison systems altogether, abolish the U.S. Senate, expand the House of Representatives to an unspecified number, abolish the Electoral College, and have Congress elect the President and the Supreme Court. I am not making this up. There is more. The DSA agenda is online. But instead of responding with truths to calm fear and bring clarity, council members made dangerous statements showing concern not for our community, but for their own climb up the Democrat Party. Councilman Gonzalez said that what ICE is doing is unconstitutional. Vice Mayor Carr said it's wrong, just wrong, referring to enforcement of federal law by ICE. The truth is, ICE agents are performing their lawful duties by order of the agency director appointed by our duly elected president. It is dangerous to tell people it's wrong and unconstitutional. Then they believe they are justified to resist, leading to criminal charges or injury as we've tragically seen elsewhere. Bakersfield is not about being a spectacle for political agendas. I believe the majority of our local citizens, regardless of their ethnic or cultural backgrounds, are not about that either. We are all one race, the human race, separated by God into nations with amazing diversity, culture, and heritage. We must be honest with each other, reject the spectacle, and embrace the truth. Thank you.